To me, I think there is power in every story, whether it's good or bad. And the lessons that we take from the stories most of the time influence our next moves because we are looking at something from the end and going back to the beginning. Now you get a chance to look at someone else's life from where they are to where they come from. That gives you an advantage because I'm telling you how I made my first million. Okay, I've already made it. Now if you haven't, that's where you take the lessons. Like, aha, so this guy started just like me. Had nothing and now he has 1 million. So how he got there is going to help me, not necessarily go through the same path, but at least understand what it takes, what you do to get where he got. Now, back to the stories that influence our lives from the Bible, for example. Mimi kuna wakati nikisoma Biblia, nikisoma the stories ambazo people had to, yani like tunasema kama biographies, kwamba this is what Elijah did to become who he became. This is what Elisha did to become who he became. Now, we are in that almost same position because kuna safari tuko nayo and there is a place ambao God anataka tufike. But to get to that place, so much has to happen hapa katikati. And the worst thing that can happen is you not realizing kwamba it's happening. You know, when you realize kwamba it's actually happening, that's when everything starts to make sense. Now, this is your story now. You've heard so many other stories. But when you realize kwamba now this is how my story is unfolding, that's when everything changes. For me, in my personal life, I've always had this chance ambayo after every while I have a reality check with myself. And I know I might not say this to anyone, but when I sit with myself, be it in a church, be it in my home, and I talk to myself in the mind out loud, like, you know what, you've done wrong here, 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 and here. And there's no lying about it. It's true. You've done it and it's wrong. You know what you have to do. So do it. And sometimes people might come and tell you, this is what you are. This is, you can improve here. You can improve there to become that. So I've experienced that mara nyingi sana, kwa sababu most of the time, and I think it's natural. We always want to have an impact in someone's life. Kwa hiyo tunajaribu kumpa something aondoke nacho, you know. Mimi kwangu, when I hear things like that, I go back and ask myself, what does God say about me and who I am? The hardest battles that you can fight are the battles that people don't see. Okay, you have a challenge maybe to speak in public. So when you stand in front of people, unaonekana kabisa you're challenged. So someone who is in the crowd, who sees that, understands kwamba you're going through a challenge, and they can come and help. Labda atakwambia, unajua, you can do better. This is what even me nilipitia the same. So you get to hear stories and unajifunza and you make progress. That is easy. And I've been through almost same situations before. and it's easier to deal with stuff ambazo zinaonekana. Dealing with stuff ambazo hazionekani is what breaks us down. And whether you're broken or you're not, you need to survive. You know kabisa kwamba sasa hivi siko sawa. Siko where I'm supposed to be. My relationship with God is bad. And it's breaking me down kwa sababu being an African child, you know, most of the time huwezi ukawa una fall back to your parents. Sababu kuna vitu you can't even talk to your parents or your siblings. So who are you falling back to if it's not God? Now you have a bad relationship with God. So who are you falling back to? You're falling back to other substances. You're falling back to stuff ambazo zitakudistract ili tu usi notice the part of the story that you are right now. Kwa hivyo ukipata chance ya kusikia stories za watu wengine, ukipata chance ya kusoma stories za watu wengine and seeing their life from where they are now to where they come from, it gives you a sense of understanding in a way kwamba wewe mwenyewe unaanza kuiona story yako kwako. Na ukiweza kuiona story yako, that's when it changes. Kwa sababu maybe I remember like 10 years back, I used to be in a position, in a relationship with God ambayo I was proud of it. You know, like ulikuwa unaambia kitu, yani mimi na Mungu tulikuwa hivi. Kwa hivyo during that time, unajua when you have a great relationship with God, even your life, yani kuna this kind of confidence unakuwa nayo ambayo sijui you can explain it vipi. You make your own steps without worry. You know, kwa sababu you know there's a guy here. So ni kama unaona watu wanapotembea na mabouncer, like ukinichokoza mimi nikigeuka there's someone else ambaye atapigana na wewe. It's not even me. So when you know kwamba there's God here, you're like unaweza toka chokoza huko watu alafu kamwachia yeye kesi. But when you're not sure kwamba he is here, so you're like I can't do this. Yani siwezi nika taste kwa sababu inawezekana ikaniangukia. Because even when na mimi ndo huwa nasema kwenye hii point kwamba sometimes inawezekana the favors labda zisiwe the same kwa kila mtu au zikawa the same lakini tukawa tunaziona tofauti, ila mimi huwa naona kama yani unajua wanaposemaga God's last born. Yani like yani tu Mungu hebu njoo kwanza, njoo yani kaa hapo ule the way mama anavyofanya na last born wake. So to me it has always been that way in my story. Kwamba whatever happens in my life, you know, God is always like yani na kuangalia na kuona you're not, you need help. So even though you are not asking for it, emchukua afu utakuja kunishukuru baadaye, you'll thank me later. So that's what God has been doing. And ukiangalia stories za watu wengine, inawezekana wao wakawa hawakuiona hiyo kwenye that point of view, lakini it gives you a sense ya kuamini kwamba kama hata wao ambao pia walikuwa hawaoni and what they went through, they got where they are now. That should tell you kwamba kama Mungu tu ana intervene katikati ya story yako, imagine what he could do kama ungemwachia kila kitu. You know, so I think knowing what God is doing in other people's lives and actually taking time to see what he's doing in our own lives, it changes the perspective and gives us a sense of closeness to him. Kwa sababu nao wanaanza kuona yani ni kama yule kaka au dada ambaye wewe ulikuwa ukitoka shule unatoa uniform unaziacha hapo chini, yeye anakuja anaenda anazifua, unakuta kesho asubuhi zimepasiwa, and you're like, so at that point you don't even notice, ila baadaye you're like, you know, this guy was doing this for me. Now that's God.